The opportunistic outsider that you're talking about is exactly who social media enables and why social media is so harmful. It gives a voice to this. That was a box that should not have been opened. That's interesting. That's emerging from our conversation in the first couple of hours.
Mm-hmm.
And it not just enables, but it
Empowers.
Empowers, yeah, and it such people win by staying within their own framework, and unfortunately by dragging us into theirs largely.
Yeah. Well, I mean, we've had a battle amongst thinking people who are trying to imagine what good moderation on social media would look like.
Yeah.
And one of the key facets of that has been what to think about anonymity.
Mm-hmm.
And I must say, initially, my sense as an evolutionary biologist is anonymity is new. It is wildly amplified in its power on social media. We would be better off without it. Now, I got a lot of pushback amongst people who correctly point out that there are lots of folks who are in a vulnerable position where anonymity is the only way for them to reveal what they know without harming their families, etc.
Mm-hmm.
I agree
Putting
with that.
their jobs at risk.
Yep. I also agree that there are historical examples in which anonymous publications have persuaded people usefully. So I think it's a trade-off, and I still think the net effect in the present is spectacularly negative, but it's not a simple matter. And so anyway, there's various versions of pseudonymous structures that might free us from the worst.
And do any of them prevent the arbiter, like the holder of the information that verifies that this is a real person, from being the social media company itself?
Well, that's a great question. Presumably you could set up a contracting system where just like your vendor may not know your credit card number because you've submitted it to Stripe or something.
Yes.
But the question is, okay, then how do you build one of those that you can trust?
Yeah.
So anyway, it's a complex and thorny issue, and you've got to figure out exactly which problem you're trying to solve, right? Are you trying to just make sure people don't have multiple accounts? That's a big deal. Are you trying to make sure that each account is a real person? That's a big deal. Are you trying to make sure that things are traceable back to an individual if they do something terrible, right? So some version of reputation.
But I mean, also the first one you came up with, multiple accounts, especially, I mean, this is both important and it feels so ridiculous to be talking about it at all, but it is important. And like, I had never been on social media at all until Evergreen blew up. And I got an account, and then it became really clear that my same account without my middle initial was going to be grabbed by someone and was going to be, tagged as my account because it is my name, right?
Right.
So, I think your brother's suggestion actually, I got that account and just have one thing at the top of it that says this is me, but my real account is there.
Yep.
And if I couldn't have that second account, someone would have grabbed it and someone would be out there pretending to be me. Especially, so the reason that this is, even more fraught now is I think that's what the blue check was supposed to help with, right?
Yep.
And now that, there's a lot of us who, are sometimes impersonated, who still don't have the blue check. It's not very useful. And also, given that now it's just I don't even know what it's supposed to indicate anymore. So there's basically, you went from a system that was deeply flawed, especially because there was so much censorship on the inside, to really there's no system at all. At least without checking a few, you have to click a few things deep to figure out some things.
Yes. The primary function that it's serving, and I think it's a very low quality implementation, but the primary thing is it sweeps away a huge fraction of the low quality bot many sock puppet architecture, right? By putting a price that is non-trivial on having an account, you can't make 1,000 accounts to all rally around the same bullshit cause. And so anyway, it clears away a lot of noise. It clears it away with a lot of people who are for real.
So, I mean, you've obviously been on the inside of that, and I haven't, but it feels to me like, given what we know about the amount of money that is at stake and has changed hands in some ways over the suppression of true information
Yep.
In the last several years, there's plenty of money out there to buy tens of thousands of bots for any given cause.
Sure.
So it doesn't even feel to me like it's the barrier that it seems like it is.
Well, it's not even that simple, though, because I think each account needs to have a unique credit card. And so it puts a tax on that behavior. It's certainly not beyond powerful entities to use it, but it removes a huge fraction of it, right?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And by the way, I do think it was not done well, and it should have been done differently, and it should be effectively at least that Twitter evaluates your humanness and allows you only one account. Now, I don't know what you do about that other case. It might be that you should be able to say, I want this account and I want that account, which is certain to become a unique problem for me, parked. I don't want to use it, but I don't want anybody else to use it. But then again, does John Smith have the same situation as Heather Hying? I don't know. But
Right.
So something. I think a much better implementation would have been good. And, Musk is learning the hard way that some of these things that seem like solutions cause big problems.